Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Morehammer podcast, your fortnightly podcast where we talk all things Warhammer Wargaming from the last couple of weeks. As always, I am one of your hosts, Wargaming Luke, and I am joined by this week, as always, Simon, aka Hobby Waffle. How are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yourself?
Not too bad, but a bit cold here in the UK now.
It's
Today's really gone down, like temperature wise.
well, yeah,
So it's
well,
one of
because I'm
them.
up north at the wall. It's actually snowing here. We've got a good centimetre of snow already. Everything's white outside.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
really? Oh, wow. And then you've just heard him. It's Ben, aka 90% Geek, bringing the Benergy back. How are we doing, bud?
Yeah, no snow here. Oh, it has been raining fairly torrentially. I've been out to my daughter's hockey game this evening, standing under a large golf umbrella, sheltering from the downpour.
Yeah, it's that time of year. I mean, it's not the same everywhere around the world, I suppose, but here in the UK, this is the time of year where it's nice to be snuggled up inside doing some hobbying. But then there's the dreaded moment whereas wargamers were there going outside, having to go and spray paint on models in the cold and rain.
Desperately peering at the weather, going, "Is it going to be clear and dry enough to
Yeah.
undercoat? Is it going to be clear and dry enough to undercoat?"
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of a mix for us wargamers in the UK this time of year. But hey ho, it's one of them. But otherwise, guys, if this is your first time joining us with the podcast here on Morehammer, make sure you're subscribed to us if you're watching us on YouTube. Of course, throw us a like on the video and leave us some lovely comments down below. And of course, if you're listening to us over on Spotify, make sure you're giving us a follow there as well. And of course, last of all, Discord channel, link in the description below. Make sure you're joining us over there, guys, if you want to be part of the community, have a chat in between episodes. Especially coming up towards Christmas time, actually, because everybody's going to get their nice gifts and stuff, opening up stuff over Christmas, getting some hobbying done. It'd be good to have a chat with people for that. So, join us over there. But otherwise, I think we'll catch up on some hobbying from the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you want to start, Si. You haven't sent me any pictures, so I don't know if yours is fairly brief or not, but I'm guessing so. But,
Yeah,
let
it's
us know
fairly
what you're up
brief.
to.
I haven't done an awful lot, to be honest, in the last 2
Okay.
weeks because life's been so busy.
Yeah.
I have done some stuff, but not in terms of miniatures that I could post. So I've sorted all my paints out because the Wave 3 paints from Two Thin Coats has finally turned up. So all them have been sorted out and put in the rack. And then I've done a review video as well, but I had to paint quite a bit of stuff up for the review video, so that took a bit of time. Then I've also sorted out a few bits. I've sleeved some cards for Star Wars Shatterpoint. Got some more Shatterpoint just turned up, Veers and the Snowtroopers. So got that to do. So I have been doing little bits, but nothing in terms of miniatures that I could be posting up on Blue Sky and stuff like that.
You've been enjoying your Shatterpoint this year, haven't you?
I have, yeah. It's a fun game and it's growing quite nicely actually. Dead easy to learn, but it's difficult to master. I'm quite enjoying it, but I'm looking forward to Halo Flashpoint.
Yeah,
That's coming up.
yeah.
I've had a quick look at the rules. I've not played it yet, but I'm going to the launch event at Mantic Games a week on Saturday, so we'll see what that's like.
Awesome. I am meant to be getting sent a early review copy, supposedly. I don't know when it's going to arrive, so I'll have.
By the way, for anyone listening, our host Luke is stuffing his face with jammed hearts, so it's not his microphone that's knackered. He's just scoffing stuff.
Sorry, can you hear me eating?
No, we can't hear you. I just thought I'd embarrass you.
Is that it, Sire?
That is it, I'm afraid.
Ben, do you want to go next? I've got your pictures here as well.
Yeah, sure. So I have been continuing in my Battlefleet Gothic vein. Let's see which picture Luke throws up first. Aha, yes, something red first.
Fast.
Just crack the light speed barrier. A former Votan mining ship. Unfortunately, the ancestor core's got a little bit senile and it's been taken over by orcs. This is my orc battleship, Death Dealer class battleship, slightly modified and converted to become the Red Squat. You can't look at this without hearing kind of an opening trumpets of solo. Yeah, so I have been working away on my Battlefleet Gothic. He's pretty much done, and the only thing that's left, I think, to do on that is I just want to add a little bit more texture and kind of color to the meteorite that's kind of sculpted sticking out of the belly. If we switch to the next picture,
Yes.
Aha. I have finished converting. Actually, it's now been spray undercoated in a brief dry period in the weather since this picture was taken. I have finished my hive ship conversion for Battlefleet Gothic. I
That's
am
really
dead
cool.
chuffed with how this has come out. It looks
That is a nice
absolutely
scratch build.
hideous. Yeah, so this is made mostly from the Psychophage kit, but then with some other bits and bobs bolted on the front and back ends.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's my hobby update, and then not pictured, but I'll hopefully have pictures for the next time we're back. I've been painting some more dwarves. I finished up my Dwarven Old Hammer Dwarf Quarreler unit. They literally just had the static grass kind of glued onto their bases earlier on today, and they're sat with the PVA drying in the hobby room at the moment.
Very nice, very nice. I suppose I'll go with mine then. I'll start with a couple of bits that I've painted up and recently. Obviously, Tyranid Project's my current project, really, as well as finishing up a bit of Skaven stuff. So Screamer Killer from Leviathan set, the new Screamer Killer model, got him painted up. And literally just before we were started recording the podcast tonight, I've just building some more of that set, really. So the many termagants that needed building. Although I will say the newest termagants that I assume came out with Leviathan, I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, they did.
Really nice and easy to build, so it makes it easier kind of building up to 20 of those, which is good. Really nice, easy fit models. And then, yeah, I'm just going to make my way through painting and building those. I love painting Tyranids as well. There's something about like the blending of like the reds and the purples and stuff. It's great, just really good fun. And then obviously continuing with the Skaven project as well. Big warp lightning cannon, which I'm also looking forward to. I really need to get a date in somewhere to play Skaven in the old world, because Skaven are just they're crazy in Age of Sigmar, but in old world they're just so random. You can't not have fun playing Skaven in old world.
That looks really cool as well with the crackly green base. That really makes it pop.
It looks like it should have a comic book style zap on the screen, you know, like with three Zs and then AP exclamation mark.
Yeah, definitely what I was going for, Si, there, to be fair. Just like crazy kind of Skaven popping off the screen, for sure. But no, really, and then obviously the only other thing I'd really say is I've been doing, in terms of playing stuff, obviously like Curse City I've been kind of playing through with my housemates, actually. Warhammer Quest Curse City, so we're literally gonna hopefully in the next week or two be fighting the first villain, which is the big Varg Skier, werewolf looking guy. He's the first villain you face in that, so we're all anticipating that one, dreading that. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully by the next episode I'll be able to update on how that one goes. But otherwise, the new edition of Warhammer Underworld is out. So I had that up on the weekend, managed to play a game, get a game of that in, because obviously it's really quick to build together, and there's only a few kind of rules changes now, really, from the last edition. So just giving thoughts on that, really. At the moment, I have to say I prefer the first edition when Warhammer Underworld started and first came out to what they've done now with this reboot, I guess you can say. Some of the changes they've made I'm not keen on, the choices they made. So like the way the cards are laid out. So obviously now what they've kind of actually done, and I don't know if the studios overlap or if it's the same studio within Games Workshop that do Warcry. But the way they've done the cards this time for Underworlds, they've put all of the faction or warbands abilities on the one card, rather than on each individual fighter, like the last edition.
Okay. So you got one reference card almost.
Yeah, and then each of the actual fighter cards just have their stat line. And sadly, the actual ability sheet just has faction-wide rules, so the majority of the warband can just use those rules. Whereas in the last edition, each fighter had like a unique ability.
Yeah.
And I get they're trying to simplify it, but if I'm being honest, having played it, I don't think it's that much more simplified, to be quite honest, because some of the universal faction abilities require quite well-timed use of them, if you get my point, and quite a bit of learning to properly master them. So I don't see how that's any different to the last edition, whereas the last edition you actually had more unique abilities for and it made each fighter's characters more unique in a narrative sense, whereas in this one they just all feel the same, just a different stat line. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't know. It's like the mini Doom wheel. Proper excited to just throw that down and just have some sort of fun ability where you just like roll forward and run over things. Like you could maybe have an ability where you can pass through an enemy model and like cause damage or something.
Yeah.
And I would have said in the last edition they would have given it something like that. But it just feels like a model in the warband with greater movement, which is kind of sad.
It's a bit disappointing.
So that's a bit disappointing. That's one thing I'd say really is put me on a bit of a downer with it at the moment.
I wonder how that will affect some of the other more things like Mollard's Mob, for example, or like the Buccaneer Ogre, where there is very much a difference between, big hulking brute and little gribblies.
So, like, for example, as well, like the Stormcast warband, I played the Skaven and my friend played the Stormcast. The Stormcast, from what I could tell, mostly just universal for the 3 models, so they were kind of the same. The Skaven, the little bomb rat.
Yeah.
The rat with it. He had like he was the only one with a unique ability on the abilities card.
Okay.
Where you can literally run him up and he just blows himself up to deal damage, which is great. That was the only one I came across. I'm saving a final kind of verdict on the new edition until I have tried other warbands. But considering these are the main 2 in the, core set, Embergard, which is going to be our they've said core set for this whole.
Yeah, it's the perpetual starter set,
whatever,
isn't it, for the entire edition?
I think it's a little disappointing in that respect.
Okay.
Some of the minor changes they've made in the core rules, and they are very minor, are relatively good from what I can remember. I should really have noted down a few of the other things I thought, really, but that was the one off the top of my head. I'm just on a bit of a low on it at the moment, but because to be honest, the original Underworlds I still think is one of the best rule sets Games Workshop have made. I know it's not a proper war game; it's more board game-esque, really. But yeah, that's where my mind's at with that at the moment. But I'll definitely get some more games in and let people know in future weeks what I think. I suppose we'll see. But guys, I think we'll move off of that and roll into. We've got a couple of reveals. We're very Necromunda again this week, and then we've got a preview coming up on Friday, so we can make some predictions. I think. Ben, what is it time for?
And now the news.
Indeed, it is. We'll go back to I think Monday last week, because obviously we do every.
Yeah,
week
it's been
now.
quite a bit.
Yeah, there was an awesome new one of my favourite Necromunda minis in a while. Actually, this one. The Servant of the Silent Ones is ready to worm its way into your house, Dalak Gang. And you've got this new awesome, massive kind of Wyrm-esque, like, mechanical thing, or half. I think it's half and half, isn't it? And it's got somebody's
like a
arm
biomechanical worm
that it's been chewing up. I'd imagine it's chewed up a whole body and the arm's still left.
I think that's just what's
out.
left over, yeah.
Yeah. On this thing. Awesome model. I don't know about you guys.
I took one look at this and my immediate brain went to Deep Rising. I don't know if either of you have seen that film.
I haven't seen
undersea worm. Oh, giant undersea worms eating people. It's a brilliant horror movie.
I love those kind of movies, though. It's so much fun.
It kind of looks like an unfortunate Orlock arm that's hanging out, doesn't it?
It does,
actually,
rather.
Yeah. Was it?
I mean, it could be anything, to be fair, but...
Was the computer guy we had last week, was he Dalak?
He was as well, yeah, the info guy.
I think he was like former Vansar or something who tried to plug into the STC and then he's ended up as a spy master for the Dalak.
Because I'm not currently technically the owner of a Necromunda gang, and one of my New Year's resolutions I think is going to be to give Necromunda a good push.
It's awesome.
I must say the last couple of releases for Dalak, it's making me sway, because my one thing that I like about Votan is Necromunda Universe. I love them within the Necromunda stuff. But I must admit, the Dalak stuff, very cool that's been coming out recently. You got a bit of artwork from it.
Got the Dalak Bounty Hunter on the side there as well. Actually, we were mentioning about Dalak stuff.
What's that? Sorry.
The Dalak Bounty Hunter was on the side there as you scroll down as well. Actually, you mentioning about Dalak stuff. There he is.
Oh yes.
Yagaloth. Or Yagaloth, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Earlier this year,
I forgot about that one.
That was from earlier this year. Yeah, that was another Dalak release.
There's been some nice ones this year, I think, for them as a gang. I don't think they've really put too much about the rules in here, so we'll move on to this week's one, I believe, which was today.
The Ferryman.
Yeah, the Abyssal Ferryman. What a cool idea this is.
Yeah.
So just, I don't know if it's got kind of the thing behind it here, but so reaching in its sunken ruins is no simple task. Travel through the hazardous exclusion zone and into the depths of the Secundus is eased. However, by the existence of Abyssal Ferrymen, crews of hard-bitten survivors and rogues who eke out a living in the inhospitable wastes.
Yeah,
Cool.
basically, if you're willing to pay the credits, they will escort you through the
Yeah.
wall around like Hive Secundus, or through the wall, I imagine, and a safe way down into the depths of the hive, I suppose.
They know the ways
like
in, yeah.
Yeah, they're like your guides, aren't they?
Yeah. Very cool.
That Ogren is really. I looked at that Ogren in particular, and I got almost kind of a Privateer Press kind of vibe from it.
It looks
Yeah,
menacing,
you're right,
doesn't
actually.
it?
It does look menacing.
I mean, especially when you look at the artwork further down, and you realise that mask is almost like kind of the front of its skull, almost.
Yeah. Harrowing. I suppose it should be if they're ferrying you to almost
Yeah,
like
it's
ferrying the
pretty
dead,
cool.
isn't it, in a way? Yeah, and then rule here, cunning killers. While the Abyssal Ferryman team is in the employ of the gang, all members of the team and any friendly fighters within 6 can reroll failed wound rolls against roaming horrors. That's
Yeah,
pretty
they
cool.
need to call him Donk, if anyone remembers Crocodile Dundee too.
I don't need that. I've got a donk.
Exactly. What's a donk?
That is a film I
Donk.
watched.
I like the smaller guy as well, the mercenary with the
Yeah.
astronaut
He is-
style skull cap.
He
He
looks like
somebody needs to paint that like Buzz Lightyear, the skull cap.
he
he's
looks
got-
like
well, he's got a
he
Buzz
looks
Lightyear
like,
chin.
Yeah, he really does actually. I was going to say he looks like Jason Statham if he didn't get a job in the movies. Like, this is what he'd be doing, helping people ferry across. Or if he was in the Warhammer universe.
I like the little kind of almost like spacesuit looking suits as well that they've got. They just
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're,
that's what I
they're
mean,
wearing
yeah, with
matching
the
outfits.
helmet and everything, and the microphone. Yeah, it's awesome.
Nah, I
I
do
might
like
have to
those
get
minis.
these. I might have to get these.
Are these like within the game? Are these ones you can spend higher, aren't they?
Yeah, basically. So you can hire them to both give a kind of in between game benefits, but then you can
Yes,
also
that's it,
field them on the tabletop as well
I
in the
think
game.
some of the best minis they released for Necromunda are those, the ones where you can hire them.
Yeah,
they're
I
really
think
cool minis.
in the Book of Desolation, you can actually knock together a ferryman team, not just these two. If you
Really?
scroll down, I'm sure it says you can
Ooh,
like
have a look.
create a gang of
It's
ferrymen.
at the bottom. There you are, Explorer and Tinker Enclaves.
Yeah, 'cause
It
we
might
had
just
those
be above
revealed
that,
a while
actually.
ago, didn't we?
Yeah, there we are. They can be used in Hellbane. They can be used. It says the Book of Desolation, alongside the rules for Madrick, Hellbane, and Lugrun, and the Abyssal Ferryman teams in general. So yeah,
So it sounds like there's more to come then, because you can put together a ferryman team. Plus, we did have an image of that woman on the previous book. You know, oh, was she on the Book of Desolation? The woman on the front who looks very similar to that
I know she was
Hellbane.
on the front of one of them. Could have been Book of Desolation, yeah. But yeah, you're right. Actually, sorry, it could have been. But yes, very, very cool. And other than that, obviously, we do have this preview coming up on Friday, and we've got I'll share here. Oh, actually, one thing, sorry, before we do go on to that I forgot to touch on, which is something you spotted, Si, so I thought I'd bring it in.
I was
as
just going
well.
to say the Sunday pre-orders, with all the remaining warbands, well, not all the remaining warbands, those 4 boxes with 4 warbands a piece are all coming out in a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
aren't they? But yeah, I just wanted to point this one out. So the 2 new Rivals decks that are coming out, you've got a Mastery deck, and I think it's a Strike deck. The Strike deck, which is Reckless Fury, has a very Chaos Dwarf looking image on the front of it.
Yeah.
It might just be a coincidence, but I mean, I do believe we'll see a Chaos Dwarf
I mean,
warband for Underworlds now, having seen that.
If Beasts of Chaos were still in Age of Sigmar, I'd say that might be what it was, but they're not. So
No.
I think you're right there, Si. I think that's also a big telling tale of what the fact we're going to probably get them in Age of Sigmar next year, purely because they got rid of Beasts of Chaos this year from Sigmar to relegate to Old World, because
And
I
it
think
kind of
that
ties
is
in
gonna
nicely
kind of
with
replace
what you
them.
were talking about coming up. You know, there's a reveal show on Friday, so
Yeah.
the
There
theme of
is.
that reveal show is apparently the slaughter of humanity. So,
Wow.
Really? Oh, okay.
yeah, so across
Okay.
the reveals, you know, we could talk about various things that it could indicate.
I must
you know,
have missed that.
maybe the forces of Hashut are on the way to slaughter humanity.
I think
City
we're
of
due it
Sigmar.
soon, aren't we? We're due it soon. If
I'm sure they're coming.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
even if we get a tease then, but we'll move on to that now, because I mean, like I say, we've got the. I'll roll down to the bottom of this because we have the actual kind of list we usually get from them of what we're going to see. So this is on
games
Friday.
and Black Library.
So I guess we'll start. I've got them in it. What I've actually done here as well, just to help us kind of take a guess at what we might see. Warhammer 40k first here. I've got up the actual roadmaps that they gave us earlier, so we can kind of see what else might.
Yeah, so
be coming.
So the smart money would be on Krieg, because we know that there's a lot of Krieg stuff coming, and they're coming next. And the Eldar Wave 2, we've already spoke about at length, haven't we? That they're coming next. We've seen Fugan already because he got out the webway a little bit earlier than planned. So the smart money would be on them too. However, they did, out of nowhere, just give us that digital preview of the Emperor's Children shoulder pads last week as well.
They
Didn't that leak though? And that's
no, that wasn't a leak. It was just a bit of an archive out of nowhere, because they said they weren't coming until next year. So my guess would be we'll see a lot of Krieg stuff. We'll see a bit of Eldar stuff, and I think right at the very end of the 40k preview bit, we might get an Emperor's Children tease, or in fact, maybe right at the end of the reveal show itself, right at the very, very end, when they sometimes do a little preview, they might do something for Emperor's Children.
Like a bit of the model or something.
Yeah, or just they did a graphic last time, didn't they? They showed the Emperor's Children symbol. So maybe they'll expand on that and we'll see a character model, or I don't know, maybe a bit of audio or something.
I think they're just going to, over the next few previews, they're going to keep teasing Emperor's Children because they know people like that. And just maybe little bits, like you say, side dribs and drabs.
I don't know if we'll see all three
Krieg
of those there. So Krieg, Eldar, and Imperial Knights. I think we'll just get 2 out of those 3.
What Krieg, I wondered as well is it says in the little bit of text underneath about big names and special chaos treats. I wonder if big names might be like some new replacement special character models that have previously been, Finecast, that they're in the process of now replacing all the Finecast.
Here on Blackheart.
Yeah, maybe.
Never know.
Saying
yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But for 40k, yeah, I think Krieg, solid shout. I think Eldar, they might leave more until the Christmas reveals. I think that's a nice big Christmas drop, New Year drop, to see more of the Eldar range maybe. And Krieg are probably going to be the very first thing, aren't they, we get in the new year. So I would say it's a good shout. But yeah, that's it really for 40k, I guess. I need to get it up properly here, but next one up is Sigmar. I do have that up as well. Here we go. Sigmar was a lot more kind of vague as well. Slaves to Darkness is on pre-order next week, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't see them showing anything else for Slaves to Darkness, or I don't know, to be honest. It says Death, more to be announced soon, so could it be something for Death, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it does show, though, isn't it, Destruction is the first of the next one, if that's correct, but God knows if it is. Is that right, or is it Death next?
Well, these things are hard to read, is the problem. If we're reading it from the top down, then it says all 4 factions are going to get something next year.
You scroll down a little bit, Luke. It might show it moving around that line. There you go.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? It does arrows.
But then it's weird because the Gloomspite, they've revealed Gloomspite and Oryx, but then Death, they don't even seem to know themselves what's coming yet. So
if you were to follow that line as best you can, Skaven, Stormcast Eternals, Slaves to Darkness. Well, Slaves to Darkness we've just seen go on pre-order. This is and beyond. So you go across, then you've got army boxes and spearheads. So maybe there's a couple of spearheads that they're going to reveal, and then it says Death, and then it says Destruction. So my guess maybe something for Death.
And the Destruction, it specifically says Spearhead, Destruction, Auric Warclans, and Gloomspite Gits. So maybe it's for Destruction, it's new spearheads for those 2 factions, different spearheads that they've already got.
Auric Warclans the only one still, I think, without a spearhead. Possibly, I know they're getting one of these big battle forces, aren't they, at Christmas? But they are at Warclans. But yeah, I would say my money's on expansion on those 2 personally.
My money is on something like an entirely new revamp for one of the death factions, maybe. Like Ossiak Bone Reapers have recently had some love in White Dwarf. Maybe that's then going to get developed into, they're going to be the next big, like army book to come out, battle tome to come out, and they'll
That's
get
a
some
good shout,
new
actually,
miniatures to
because
flesh stuff out for them. Not
this
unintended.
week they're going to be on Warhammer Plus in Masterclass, aren't they? Or is it Lawmasters? One of the two.
Oh, right, okay.
One of the two.
One of the darker colour schemes for Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I can't remember what they're called, but it said, on the Sunday preview article right at the bottom, it said also next week will be how to paint it's like the black scheme for one of the Ossiarch Bone Reaper units. I forget what it's called. So you might be onto something there, Ben. It could be like a revamp for the Bone Reapers.
Because they need some love. I mean, they got a big release, and then they've just kind of tumbled along at the bottom, as it were. I mean, Flesh Eater's got a nice big glow up at the end of 4th edition, so they don't necessarily need to add anything to Flesh Eater Court. Night Haunt is absolutely bloated in terms of the amount of stuff it's got. I mean, it's got too much stuff in it, to be honest. It could almost do with a little bit of range being culled to balance things out a little bit. Soulblight's, quite happily, and that recently got its release at the end of
Flesh Eater Court,
the last edition. So I'm thinking maybe Bone Reapers.
You're looking Bone Reapers or Night Haunt, and I'd probably say Bone Reapers because they need expanding, and
so of course they'll add more units to Night Haunts.
Yeah, unless of course you go completely left field and don't show anything for death. You know what they're like.
That's true.
Because you've still got Fire Slayers that need extra stuff, and then Ideneth and Caradon Overlords have never had a wave 2, have they?
No.
They've got the launch stuff, and then they've had bits of characters that have come out, and that is it.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, earlier, like
it's a tough one to call a Sigmar. It really is.
The constant kind of like foreshadowing of
Chaos Dwarfs.
So it's like, when will we see that? I don't know, but could be, or even like they're doing with the Emperor's Children stuff. Maybe just constant teasing, I suppose. Maybe. But
do you know what would be great if they did the Age of Sigmar one, and then they just did like a banging hammer on an anvil with like loads of fire at the end, just as a hint.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes for Sigmar, but yeah. But moving on, next one on the list is some Heresy, which was one of the worst, as we know, of these. Oh
God!
Of these roadmaps for the next year. Or so.
Maybe tanks. Yeah. Maybe it'll be tanks.
Well, I think it was the guy, wasn't it? He was actually chatting to them, because you did get a bit more info on the roadmaps when you actually listened to the stream that they did for these. And the guy was saying about just kind of more, what was it? More of the weapon kits and things, wasn't it? Expansion kits for a lot of the Heresy stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me with Heresy if it's just a lot of kind of boring, like,
yeah, you mean we might get the odd Praetor, but there is
Mark 5 armor. That would be cool. Mark 5. Well,
there's rumors of this big box set coming with plastic Mark 2 in it as well. So maybe
hopefully
they'll give
more tanks for you guys to guess in Warhammer 20 questions. We've got to we need to get more in there. There aren't enough.
Yeah, more variants of tanks.
I couldn't even guess what they're doing for tanks, to be quite honest. That's ridiculous.
Saber Strike Tank Mark 7B variant Alpha. What?
Yeah. Twice removed.
Well, we established the Saber's not yet entirely plastic. It's one of the few resin kits, so maybe the Saber in plastic.
Yeah. And then I assume they would have put the logo for Imperialis separate, but I mean, they could put Imperialis stuff in there. I have no idea.
They could. They cast it as underneath the Horus Heresy.
Because they put it on the same roadmap here, so,
might be more dark mech stuff, maybe.
That would be cool. It would be cool to see some more dark mech stuff for, like some of the more kind of basic grunt troopers and stuff.
Yep.
Give me more.
Size up for that, yeah. And then last of all here... sorry, Ben.
Tell you what, they completely could surprise us with it on Imperialis. First Imperialis scale Primarch. That would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it over and over again, Ben. The time they bring mini Primarchs into Imperialis is the time I finally start buying the mini men. It will be, genuinely, I will collect those little dudes, put them on my desk.
Got to catch them all.
And start doing little things with them on the screen as we're doing the podcast, because that's just how it's going to be. But moving on, the last really of the main games, and then I don't know if there's any point in really guessing about Black Library, but Old World is the last one.
Yay!
I think Ben knows what this might be.
Yes, so we're pretty much certain as to what the next one is going to be for this. It's Empire of Man, despite the fact that this is an entirely unreadable roadmap.
See, that's why I think it does go from the top down, personally.
It's
weird how they've done it.
Stupid roadmap.
Yeah.
It's not a roadmap. I did a whole video ranting about why it's not a roadmap. So there has been a leaked image, which is the
Empire of Man General.
Yeah, you saw the
It was me that posted it.
Was it you that posted it? There we are. Yeah.
I was going to say it's usually Sci-Fix.
Empire of Man is what I'm putting my money on. I think we're going to see humans and maybe get some details about like which plastic kits are coming back, which I imagine will be most of the stuff that up until now was free guild for Age of Sigmar before it very rapidly went off stock. I'm hopeful that maybe we might get to see something like tasty new, like maybe get some new like plastic Reichsguard Knights on foot or something. That would be very cool. Albeit the Reichsguard technically didn't come into effect until much later, so they wouldn't technically be Reichsguard. But anyway, armored knights on foot, even if they're not Reichsguard, would be very, very cool.
What's your bet for like the big kind of centerpiece character new model that they'll get? What would your bet be on that?
Fingers crossed, I'm hoping that we might get like the 3 Imperial pretenders to the throne. Like, yeah, that would be really cool if the 3 characters that were in the book were each of the like the would-be emperors, and you can field what each of those as, you know, like the head of your faction.
That would be cool
in Civil War. That would be very, very cool. Whether they'll do that, I don't know. I mean, equally they could just go, hey, no, we're just gonna.
What I don't know if they are in the books or what the rules are, but I mean, you know, like you got the Bretonian guy on the Pegasus.
Yes,
but it was a multi-part kit, wasn't it? You could build it as the battle standard bearer on the Pegasus or the Baron. I wonder if they could do like an Empire General on a Griffin or something like that, but you could build 3 different characters as riding a Griffin.
Well, you kind of got that already. It's the Griffin kit that they released that was for ages was the General Griffin for Age of Sigmar. It could make Karl Franz, and then it could also make a generic General or a Griffin, and it could make a Wizard on a Griffin, and it could even make a Griffin with 2 heads. They took it off sale for Age of Sigmar when they released Old World because it was then going to be.
Oh, so maybe they'll just re-release that then. Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why Cities of Sigmar now is basically all the kind of new stuff, and for some reason, Dark Elves. But no, I'm hopeful that we might get 3 gorgeously sculpted, like really nice, pretty Empire characters. Equally, they might completely take it from out of left field, and it might be like, you know, some kind of rogue general for one of them or something, or it could be, the head halfling of the Moot or something. It'd be awesome if they did something like that.
My bet is I think there's going to be a new wizard. I know the colleges don't exist yet, but obviously there's still wizards and there's still magic, so I think they're going to do a new wizard.
You think there's going to be a completely new wizard model?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, there's not really a decent one. There hasn't been one for a while, has there?
There's the kit that makes two models, and it makes all 8 of the colleges of magic. So there's that kit again that was Warhammer Fantasy.
Well, they might want something more generic, because there's no colleges.
They might. I mean, the thing I suppose is that at the moment that kit was very much used to make. You could make all 8 colleges of magic. What you've never had someone do until now, but what I've been interested to do when I get my hands on a copy of that kit once they re-release it again, is to mix and match the bits. So there's nothing to say, actually, that you could have to make someone who looks like, a death wizard with a scythe and a hood. You could use the bright wizard head with the big bushy beard and, the Staff of Heavens or something to make your own unique-looking wizard out of that kit. But I'll take your point. I mean, it would be nice if we got some kind of brand spanking new wizard kit. Equally,
I can just picture a wizard on some sort of fantastic base, like a whirling swirl of magic or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Some sort of centerpiece wizard model.
Well, I mean, equally, what they could do is they could re-release some of the classic wizard models from back in the day.
That'd be good, because there's some really good wizards.
There were some excellent wizard models from back in the day. And in talking about re-releasing models, what I'm hoping we might get to see as part of the Old World release is, like they've done before, a taste of what returning models there might be. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the War Wagon and the old Halfling miniatures.
They'll definitely do a War Wagon again. They've got to.
War Wagon is just... We've had a tease of the War Wagon already, haven't we? That was very heavily implied in the last Old World teaser that they did.
Yeah, it's got to be.
There's some really cool old Empire vehicles, so hopefully they bring a lot of it back, but
Mm.
fantasy. Right, I think, I mean, unless we've got any kind of, I don't think there's any way to really predict what they're going to do for Black Library. One thing I will say is, though, I think, was it today they revealed
I've
Vermin
got
Slayer,
a prediction
a
for
new
Black
thingy,
Library.
Gotrek,
Yeah, Galtrek's
book?
got the new Vermin Slayer book coming.
Yeah.
Your prediction for Black Library, Si?
So we've just had the Horus Heresy series finished, haven't we? And then the Siege of Terror series. So the big rumor is now there's going to be a series set on the Scouring, so the time afterwards. So they've seen what a money spinner Horus Heresy has been. What was it in the end? 50 odd books, 60 odd books,
Something like that.
Siege of Terror, which arguably you could have done in 5 books. It turned out to be how many was that? 12 books, probably more than
12
that.
in the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was 12 books, wasn't it? Yeah. So they're going to do it again because they know that the money's there, the authors are there, and people want it. So there will be a new series based on the Scouring or whatever they want to call it. But mark my words, finding out what happens after the siege, rebuilding, writing of the Codex Astartes, they're going to put it all in print. I mean, I'd like some of it to be left in mystery, left in the shrouds of time, but they're going to put everything down, aren't they?
My hope for what the Black Library predictions might be another old world novel, because we have, after they did the Lords of the Lance.
Oh yeah, we're definitely due another
release,
old world book.
I feel like we're due at least one new old world book.
I can see a dwarf
really
novel
cool.
on the horizon for sure.
There's so much scope for so many different kind of storylines that they could tell, but I'd like to see at least that. The thing that I've been pondering is there's loads of new kind of characters and storylines that they've been inventing for the animated stuff for Warhammer Plus. And I wondered if we might get like a novelization of something like that. Because they've already got the story as with the characters. But I mean, something like the Pariah Nexus animation, which is some of the best that they've done.
Oh, yes. Sakan, the salamander, is a very popular character, isn't he? So he would do with his own book series for sure.
How well would he do if he got his own book?
Yeah.
Don't sure that
I think he's a brilliant
doing that, but I think it's something that they ought to consider kind of tapping into that and kind of, fastening one end of the circle with the other.
I'd actually like to see, and what I'd probably read myself if it was done for the old world, is one of these like collections of like maybe like mini stories within the old world for like different factions, just to give a little bit more fluff on the time period for the factions. I think that would be cool, because obviously we've just entered the old world, which is a completely different earlier time period, and a lot of people aren't as familiar with a lot of the lore from that far back. I think that'd be a nice way of kind of catching up on a few things that are happening within that time period. Would be cool. Especially as they can limit to, you could even do like how many factions is it, 8 or 9 we've got coming for the old world, so you could even do that. That'd be quite cool, and have like different authors do each one or something. I think that'd be neat. I'm not saying that's what we're going to get, but that's what I'd like to see.
No, I think that's an excellent point. It is an ideal opportunity to flesh out this era of time, which, I mean, the Arcane journals are great, but they give a very narrow, almost flavor pamphlet style.
Aren't they, Ben?
Yeah, they're pamphlets, flavor pamphlets. A very narrow scope of one tiny bit of like what's happening with a faction. Unlike previous army books, which would give, a wealth of depth and lore for a particular army. Very, very little information is given at the moment about what's happening for each army, each faction during this era. So, some novelizations to kind of flesh it out would be cool.
Would be.
Sure, I read the Tomb King's flavor pamphlet as soon as I got it. Can't remember any of it.
Really?
I'll have to read it again, yeah.
That's the trouble with me. That's the same with me. I
need to read it again.
I read stuff and I forget it most of the time. But there we go.
One of my favourites so far has been the Warriors of Chaos flavor pamphlet. They had a really cool kind of story, and that one did add actually quite a bit of information about what was happening in the era.
Oh, cool! I must admit, I like the new style of battle tomes for Sigmar are so good for lore. It's one of the things they said they're going to try and do now with the battle tomes. I think Codex is 40k as well and whatnot. They're going to try and start, even though they've increased the price of them, they really are bulking in the lore on things, and it is, from what I've read so far, it's very good.
Well, yeah, because they need to give people a reason to keep them, because if you get your book at the end of the edition, and then the edition changes and your rules are null and void, you need a reason to keep that book. So a truckload of lore and maps and all sorts of goodies would, at least soften the blow a little bit.
Because like you say, everything's going digital now, so yeah, like you say, it's nice to have that side of it in it. But yeah, but that is kind of main news, I think, for this week, unless anybody else has anything else they want to bring in, I suppose.
I'm still just thinking about what else Black Library can come out with. Actually, one of the things that we haven't seen for a while is things like the lore books. Like they used to do things like a big guide, like the Heraldry of the Empire or something.
That's
Or
the
they
kind of
do...
thing I was thinking I'd like to see more of that, if I'm honest, because that's the sort of stuff I'd probably buy to read.
Like the Imperial Knights Companion book. Remember that one?
Yeah. What do you call the Sabbath Worlds Crusade book they released? That was the huge. I've got both editions of it. The hardback, detailed background of the Sabbath Worlds Crusade. Something of that kind of ilk. Setting out, be ye the tome that tells the tale of the time of the three emperors or something, and that actually fleshes out all kind of the lore and the background
the sort of stuff. I like most, to be honest. It's like I was saying, like some of the campaign books from old fantasy is some of the stuff I read through multiple times. Like the Lustria book is one of the things that got me massively into Lizardmen and Skaven and that conflict.
Just you wait until next year when they go back to Armageddon and they start imagine a novel series.
Well, this is the other thing you see. I think Ben was about to possibly say the same thing. You're probably going to start getting novels come out for the likes of 40k that lead into this lead up next year now towards the new edition and wherever we're going, which, like Si says, maybe Armageddon or something like that, And it'll be the same for Sigmar. I imagine you'll get a few books here and there based around Vermin Doom and all that sort of stuff. Like we've got Vermin Slayer, like you say, Ben, coming, and the next Scott Wreck novel. So I can see more of that sort of stuff for each game.
What I was going to say was actually we've had for Horus Heresy the things like the different campaign books that also obviously give you rules for playing through different kind of campaigns and different army lists like the Shattered Legions rules and stuff for Horus Heresy. But those books also, in the same way that kind of the old Horus Heresy, the big black books did, have carried within them a whole bunch of extra lore for the Heresy, and it would be lovely to see something like that come out for the old world. Giving us more information about what's happening, as well as some different kind of battles and stuff, perhaps that people can refight.
Very true. I'm very worried that next year, though, when we get the Beastmen and Wood Elf kind of area, like that conflict as well in Old World is something I'd probably be interested in. So we'll wait and see with that what new models.
I'm sure there'll be something that will build up to the big A.
Yeah, we'll wait and see, I think. But yeah.
Cool. Shall we play a game?
I was going to say, shall we play a game? Yeah, so this week, guys, we're taking a break, as we do now and again, from Warhammer 20 Questions. We've got a game of How Much?
How much?
How much?
And so if you guys are new to this game, because you might have not been here the last time we played one, effectively, the three of us, or whoever tends to be on, but the three of us this week, we each choose two, generally speaking, out of print, but it doesn't always have to be, just a listing for something Warhammer based or Wargaming based on eBay. And it has to be buy it now price, and the other two of us have to guess how much we think it is, and whoever's closest gets a point. We've got 6 in total. We see who wins at the end. So without further ado, we have 2 each up here. I've got them ready. Ben, I've got one of yours up first.
Okay.
And Si, it'll be you after that, and then myself. So I'll get yours up first here. This is your first one we've got up.
Which one are we going with?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes. So, okay, for those of you who are listening at home on Spotify, this is the Warhammer Townscape Sheet 1 card building scenery terrain 1980s from Games Workshop, quite definitely out of production. So this is there was a point in time when Games Workshop released a whole packet of cardstock scenery. This is one sheet from that cardstock scenery, but still unpressed. Looks to be in pretty much mint condition. It's about 40 years old. Very well for its age. But yes, let's ask then.
Can you remember how many of these sheets? Can you remember how many of these sheets would have come in one set?
In the original pack? I think there were 4. No, hang on, I can tell you because I've got a PDF of these with a view to printing them and doing them myself at some point. I believe there were 8 sheets in the pack.
Right. Okay.
Because this one, I believe,
like
this makes
one house or something.
I think this
makes
makes
2 buildings, isn't it?
Two buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like an inn and then a little cottage.
It surely can't be that much.
We'll go with you first, Luke, since you're up top.
No
How much?
I'm gonna go £40.
£40 bid by Luke. Si, what is your thoughts?
If it's way more than that, I've lost all hope in humanity.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more than that.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess 85.
85.
Well,
You will
judging
not
by
believe-
your reaction, that's way too high.
You will not believe this. I'm
way
very,
higher.
very tempted by this. It is £11.
Oh no way.
Jesus, I'm way off.
See, I did kind of go on the high end, just in case, but like I didn't think it'd be that cheap.
I am very, very tempted to buy this.
I love
You
how
made
Ben
me
just
like
puts on ones where
you
he's
have
like,
to buy this.
Fine.
I love how Ben just puts ones on where he's like, "This is basically my shopping cart. This is why I put this on here."
See that? He folded faster than Superman on washing day, then, didn't he? It took him about 5 seconds.
Okay, I'm buying it now. All right, Si, I've got your first one up here, and it's a big one, and we've got the postage on there as it is, so that gives a good idea of how much this might be.
So this one, it's not an out of print item this time. It is a giant Legions of Imperialis Astartes army. So it's a Blood Angels army. Apparently, there's over 9,000 points, or approximately 9,000 points worth of stuff. There's loads of stuff in there. There's infantry, there's flyers, there's tanks. There's some 3D printed scenery as well. He's got the extra stuff like the fast attack stuff, the jet bikes, and the outrider bikes. And it's all pretty much painted. He did say in the description there's a little bit of damage here and there, but it's very, very minor. But the vast majority of it is painted, so it's pretty much a 9,000 point epic army ready to go with some 3D printed scenery. And it's a buy it now price. And just to give you a clue on the postage, he would prefer it to be picked up from Nottingham, or she, I should say. But the postage is £100, but there is an awful lot of stuff, so I'm presumably it'd be a large parcel.
Gives a better idea of how much it probably is, though.
Well, you never know, because that could be a red herring. But what do you think this? Bear in mind, it's only epic stuff as well, so you know it's.
Yeah, but
although there is a lot there, it is small.
Those Imperial Knights are like 6 for 30 quid or something, and there's are those the Contemptors, aren't they? Sorry, not Imperial Knights. Even then,
yeah, there's a lot of Dreadnoughts there as well.
Yeah,
there are some Knights there though. So what do you think it's worth? Buy it now price.
Ben, you're probably first this time, to be fair, and then first on the next one.
I personally think that if I was listing something like this, and if I put I wouldn't put the postage as more than like 20% of the cost. So I'm going to go £500.
£500.
See, this is tough for me because I have no idea how much like Imperialist stuff.
Well, stuff like this as well is all dependent on what someone values their own painting skill at as well, I suppose.
This is all currently available stuff, is it?
Yeah, apart from the 3D printed terrain.
Yeah, of course.
Which obviously they've printed themselves.
Yeah, I think that's where the postage values come from there, though, as well. Is all the bulk of that as well.
Mm.
How many points did you say it was, Si?
Hang on, I'll tell you.
Roughly.
Is that the 9,000 or 8,000?
Yeah, see, that's a lot.
I'm
gonna go higher than Ben. I'm actually gonna say 800.
800.
I nearly went for over £1,000, to be honest, but I'm gonna go higher.
I am second guessing myself and thinking you may be right, Luke.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about the amount that's
His
there.
description is terrible because it doesn't fit on the page, so it's
especially as it's painted.
100 painted hours apparently. 100 painted hours worth of stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yes, I mean if he values his time at like £10 an hour or something, it's easily £1,000, isn't it?
I would have said I'm gonna go 800, but I mean it wouldn't surprise me.
But Luke, 800. Ben, final answer. What are you on? 500.
I was on 500.
You sticking with it, or are you?
No, I think it would be rude for me to change it after Luke's put his.
So, if you was to get this posted to your house with £100 postage, it would cost you £2,100.
Oh,
wow!
It's on a buy it now, £2,000.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
There's definitely no danger of me buying this one.
That is 2-0 to Luke.
How is this happening? I mean, it is my go next, so to tell you.
We do send in the pictures before the podcast, so you know.
Yeah.
Sat there scoffing his yum charts going through eBay.
No, but my choice next. I thought I'd go a bit different with this one. Still Warhammer based, but this is a Warhammer life-size store. One of these cutouts that you get when you walk out
Yeah.
into a store, and they're quite sought after when they get rid of them. And I think this one, if I'm not mistaken, was to go along with the new Heroes set when that come out. I think originally in the would it have been 8th edition? 8th or 9th?
Was that
maybe,
when this
something
one
like
was
that?
from?
It's big Primaris guy. I think it's from the. Is it the Hero set that came out?
I don't know. I'm looking at wondering what's happened to his bolt rifle. It's like the end's been
I
sawed
thought-
off.
Yeah, I thought this was from like the Dark Imperium
Yeah.
launch. I could be wrong though.
It could have been. I'm not sure. It's a Primaris either way.
This is from the. I was single when I bought this, but now my wife wants me to get rid of it. Or eBay auction.
But I mean, it's fairly old. This cutout anyway, by the looks of things. But from what he said on it, it's in good nick.
So
So.
it's a cardboard cutout, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a giant
big
cardboard
cardboard
cutout.
stand cutout. How much do you think? I think Si, you're first on this one. I'm including postage on it.
So what? So if I got my hands on that, what would I try and sell it for?
It's not a super old one, either. It's kind of middle aged, I suppose, in terms of
See,
Warhammer.
I'm going to go higher than what I think I would list it for. 99 plus VAT. 99 plus VAT. 99 plus postage.
Okay. So you're saying 99 is your guess?
That's my guess, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know, is it? Yeah, 99.
I was going to go 100, so I'm going to go £1 more than Si and
That
go
was so
100.
cheeky.
Well, I
Alright.
was thinking 100 before Si went 99, so I'm going to go 100.
All right, so including postage, which is probably what's nabbed Ben this. Oh, no, I think you would have got it without postage. Is £110, and I think it wasn't.
lazy.
I think it was actually listed as 100. So without postage, Ben was bang on. But
The
yes.
fun thing is, my other thought had been I'd nearly gone 120, and I would have still been £1
You still-
closer
yeah.
than Si if I got 120.
All right. So Ben nabbed that one.
Yay,
It's
on the score of the board.
2-0-1 at the moment. Ben, I've got your second one. So I will go first to guess on this one again, so that we're equal.
So this is a
Look
as
at him with his
described as
t-shirt.
very rare Warhammer Fantasy Lizardman Army Deal box.
It is.
Factory sealed collector's set. This is from when they used to do. I mean, this is God. This is going to be 5th edition Fantasy Army
It's got
Deals.
the original Slan Mage priest in it, where he's being carried by the little frog dude.
Does so.
Right.
This is what I remember used to see these in the back of like White Dwarf and stuff, and occasionally you'd see them in Games Workshops as well. This is a boxed army deal. It comes all in like a big cardboard box, and it's got all the individual components in. This is literally still sealed. Like everything inside will still be in its original packaging, still in its shrink wrap, still in its blister packs. The box itself is still sealed up with the original tape. You got the original Metal Slam Mage Priest being carted around on the back of a couple of Temple Guard, 2 Croxigor, some plastic Warhammer Skinks, some plastic Saurus Warriors, the Metal Stegodon, and 5 all-metal Skink Cold One Riders, who were also released separately as the Dogs of War unit, Teachy Weechies Cold One Raiders.
So this is sealed.
This is literally, it's still sealed. Like the box
Wow.
is. Somebody bought this, I'm assuming, at some point, or else perhaps a store had it in stock and then found it at the back of the stock room or something. I don't know, but it is still mint in box. Even the
Look, this is
original
like
Army
your
Deal.
holy grail. This, I think you need to go first.
I was going first anyway on this one. In fairness,
I'm just going to check actually to see
and
whether
that
or not.
Stegodon has brought back memories, because that's one of the first monster models I ever, like big models I ever built, the metal dude. And I struggled so hard with that Stegodon to build it. My dad had to intervene and drill holes all into it and put metal wire inside it to actually get it together. So I have fond memories of that model.
I actually, just to let you know, it actually even has a stamp of certification on the back
No way.
from when it was imported.
Oh wow!
Okay. All the same, this is still difficult for me to guess. I know how much that Slan Mage Priest is separate. It's not as much as you'd think for him. I'm gonna go. You never know with these kind of sets, but I'm gonna go 600.
Okay.
Oh, I
Sai,
think it's worth way
how
more than that.
much?
You
Yeah,
think
no, I
it's
think
you
it's
think
worth
it's
way more
higher?
than that. I'm going to go higher as well because you just said imported as well. Do you know what? Given what mine was, my Legions in Paris, I'm going to go silly money for this. I'm going to say somebody's asking $2,500 for this.
So we've got
That makes it
600.
interesting though, because I've gone kind of lower end to Sai there. So if it's somewhere in the middle, it'd be close.
It's because it's
600
sealed. It's because it's sealed. I
Yeah.
think somebody's going to want a lot of money for that.
600 from Luke, £2,500 from Sai. It is currently, buy it now on eBay for £3,961 and
Oh my
80
god!
pence,
There is no
Or-
way I would ever come anywhere near that. That is ridiculous.
or $4,999.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that then.
That's crazy because you can get that old Slan model on its own for like.
No, you can absolutely buy all of the individual
It's the fact
components
that
in
it's
this
sealed,
for
yeah.
under £1,000. But it's the
the
fact
box
that it
and it's
is
sealed as
original
well.
it's the
stamp,
sealed
yeah.
box. Yeah, there are certain
Yeah.
collectors who love like the original still sealed and collect it and still keep it in the shrink wrap and stuff. I mean,
Wow.
not for me, but everyone to their own.
Incredible.
For there's some collectors, this is absolutely like a holy grail for them.
Sai, you got a point
So
there.
a point on the board
2-1-1.
for Sai.
Hey.
We'll go with Sai's pick next, and Ben, you'll be first guest on this one.
Ooh, go on then, Sai.
Let me
Describe
check
it to
the
us.
price. Right, so this is Outlanders, the supplement for Necromunda, which introduced Scavies, Spirers, Ratskin Renegades. I think was it Bounty Hunters was the other one. Or did they come in the other one? The other
Iris, Scavies, Ratskins. I think it was just those three.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Hive Scum as well.
Redemptionists were in there as well.
Redemptionist, sorry, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Outlanders box set. It's in, from what I can tell, absolutely amazing condition. There's a couple of tiny little barricades missing, but all the plastic bulkheads are there. All the cardstock terrain is there. It's not been folded or fitted. Rulebook looks to be in really good condition. Box looks to be in really good condition as well. So if you were looking to collect this, if you're a Necromunda collector, this is like one you could display on the shelf if you wanted to, or you could build it and play it. But it's in really good condition. I just need to check how much it is. But go on, guys. What do you think? What do you think this is worth?
How much is it, Si?
Funny.
I'm up first then, am I, on this one?
Yeah.
I am going to go £88.
88.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because it's not sealed. There were obviously quite a lot of these produced out there, and it's not complete. So I'm going to guess it's under 100. I'm going to say
Did you
88.
say the minis in this set, Si?
No, it didn't have
It's just
minis in
the
it. This is what you get.
Yeah,
Scenery and rule books.
I'm gonna go higher, but not that much higher. I'll say 100.
Right. So Ben, what was yours?
88.
Oh, 88.
88, and you went 100.
Yeah.
Hang on, I need to check the postage on this.
It's £3.71. It says there.
All right. Okay.
I think
£95 plus VAT.
Oh, yeah, Luke's closer.
Right, you can tell what I've been working on all day.
God, that was close.
£95 plus postage.
By a couple of
looks
quid.
slightly closer.
Okay. Have I won?
You're going to win. You get 3 points.
How on earth? I don't know if that's the first time I've ever won this, but I'll take that. All right. So
Now Sinai fight for last place.
3-1-1, and then my last pick, and this is a big one for the face off, I guess you could say. So I got a couple of picks for this one, so you can see the insides as well. But this is
another army set.
Yeah, and ironically, Blood Angels actually. So a Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine Army Blood Angel Army box. Obviously rare set. Which edition is this? Second, yeah. And then
Tell by the logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is actually a list on the side. So Complete Blood Angel Space Marine army set with I can't see how many points it says on there, over something points.
It's.
But then you
I think.
got,
I think it's. I think if I remember, it's 2,000 points. I think because you get a Terminator
I would imagine
squad,
so. Looking at that,
tactical squad, full Devastator squad, 10-man Death Company squad, Furioso Dreadnought, and Captain Tycho.
And
Yeah.
scouts.
Scouts, yeah, scouts at the back.
And the chaplains
Pretty sure
as well
that-
for the Death Company.
Pretty sure that's 2,000 points.
yeah, that would seem right. But also, so these old army boxes, they actually came with the individual sealed boxes
Yeah.
inside them for the things that were included, which is, I think, would add to kind of the collector's value of these.
Look at that Space Marine Devastator Sergeant pointing there. I love that miniature.
I love this style of boxes. I really wish we
Yeah.
could go back to this style of
Very
packaging.
I remember walking in Games Workshop and looking at the shelves full of stuff like this and just salivating.
Yep.
I thought this would be a pretty cool nostalgia.
I've got that
so-
Devastator Sergeant. I've got the Tactical Squad Sergeant as well. I bought both of them just to relive my childhood.
My buddy Mike had actually recreated this army deal. Like, he really, really, really wanted it. So he's bought every model that's in there individually and 3D printed the scenery, the ruined chapel, so that he can display it exactly as it's displayed
Wow,
there,
that's
like on the
awesome.
stepped hill and with the ruined chapel and stuff. And it's
But,
in his miniature cabinet, displayed like that.
That being
Ugh.
said, the box is in good nick. Everything inside is in good nick. It's obviously open, but I think the idea of opening it is to make sure everything's correct
Yeah.
inside. So I
Yeah.
think people would kind of want that. But Si, you are first on this one. What do you think this would be worth? How much?
It's one of them again, isn't it? It could be anything from, I don't know, 800 quid to 4 grand if someone's being daft. It's Space Marines. It's second edition and it's Blood Angels. So already got my nostalgia tickling going. I'll just go right down the middle and say 2 grand.
Okay. Ben.
I was thinking 2,500. I was thinking of doing what Side done before, 2.5 grand. I think it's definitely got to be over 2. I think it's.
So you're going 2.5.
I'll go 2.5.
All right. This was incredibly close. So including postage, it wasn't much, to be fair, because it's only a box still. So I think if I remember rightly, the postage has won it for Ben because it was
thought we didn't include the postage.
£2,275.
How much was it?
How much?
£2,275.
Does that include postage?
Yeah, but postage was included anyway. So that's my point.
So what's it up for on eBay?
That's how much it's up for. £2,275.
No, without the postage. What's the number on the?
What's
on-
the buy
on
it now?
eBay?
No, that is it. It includes postage.
Oh, it's included. It's
Yeah, that's why I was saying it includes postage.
They've done it as buy it now with
Yeah,
postage.
yeah, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, free postage basically.
so
So
Luke, it's got free postage size. So I win. Well,
No,
Luke wins.
it
I
is
come
Ben.
second.
Yeah.
I was going to say because if it
By
was came down to
£25.
postage, then it's a draw.
But I think you can take a moral victory from that one side as well. That was very close.
No, Ben's won. If that's what it is with postage, he's won fair and square.
Very, very close.
That was close though. That last
That
one.
was a good one. That's one of the best we've had, actually. I think that was very, very close. But the most important thing is Luke is the winner this week for how much? For probably the first time ever, I think.
What is it? What is it they say, Ben? Broken clock's right twice a day.
Yeah.
That's
We
correct.
threw him some easy ones, obviously, by throwing in things that he's actually
Even
heard
though
of.
I got the lizard men one ridiculously wrong somehow, and yet I still won.
I know that was the only one I got right. Ironically enough.
I even wore this t-shirt purely for that, and I still got it wrong. But there we go. But now, fun game of how much this week, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it at home, and we always like to know if any of you got it bang on, because that's always fun to know. But we'll be back with another game soon, I'm sure. But I think we'll end the show there, guys. It's been a fun one this week with our predictions and whatnot. We'll start with you, Si, since you're at the top there. Where can people find you, bud, and what you've been up to with videos and whatnot?
Usual place. You can find me on my own channel at Hobby Waffle on YouTube. So I've just done a review video of the new Wave 3 paints from Two Thin Coats Paints. So there's some coloured metallics, which I was eager to try out. And as I thought they would be, they are absolutely brilliant. So I painted up loads of different examples of Space Marine backpacks and some chest plates. I've done a review video of that. Somebody in the comments got very, very upset that they weren't as good as Scale 75 paints, and ended up having an argument with other people in the comments, which was quite amusing because it just drove up the interaction
I
on the
saw
video,
that.
and I just sat and watched it while it went through the roof. But if you want to laugh, go and read the comments on that video, because some guy accused me of advertising Duncan's paints and getting paid for it, which I wish that was the case, but he actually came across as someone who worked for Scale 75 and was, anyway, it was just a funny old interaction. And then other than that, Blue Sky is the place to be at the moment, so find me on there as at Hobby Waffle, and then Instagram and Facebook as well. You'll find me on there, and on Discord, of course.
Nice. Yeah, if any of you guys listening or watching aren't on Blue Sky yet, join over there, because it's a thriving community. I think most people from our community now have abandoned it.
We're going to end up breaking the servers,
So-
I think.
Yeah, probably.
Again.
But Ben, yourself as well, where can people find you, bud? What you've been up to?
Oh, yeah, you can find me over on my channel. I have been on a little bit of a hiatus for new videos for the last couple of weeks because I've been working on a much bigger project. My plan is to get a teaser for that big project up at the end of this week, so make sure you come and check that out. And I'm also cooking up a couple of new projects for kind of going into December. You can find me in the meantime over on Blue Sky as well as 90% Geek, and I am on Instagram as that as well. And of course, come and join us on the Morehammer Discord, and just enjoy some chat with us.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah, I second that, Ben, for sure. And second what Si was saying, Blue Sky is the place to be, really. I may as well, to be honest, deactivate my X account, because the only thing I use it for now is just to pop on there and check up on news from the bands that I like and stuff, just because they post regular updates on there, and that's about it.
Literally, the only reason I haven't deactivated my account over there is so that nobody else can get my handle.
Right, yeah.
Same here.
That's fair.
I do pop on there and again, and I'll for now I'll cross post just because I know there's people who are staying on there for now, but I don't think it'll last long.
If you're a brand new person to the community as well, but find us on there and maybe leave a message on one of our posts or something as well, and just let us know that you listen to the podcast, that you knew, and we'll give you a follow back or something, and create a bit of a community on there as well. That'd be good fun, because the algorithm on there is far better than X.
But there isn't even really. It's just you get to see posts from people you follow.
That's what I mean. But it's
I see Warhammer stuff now instead of cam girls. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, join us over there, guys, and like Ben said, the Discord as well. That's mostly where I am at the moment as well. I'm also going to just make some short videos here and there, probably on the channel, so like reviews, unboxings, things as I usually do, so keep an eye out for those. But otherwise, guys, as always, stay safe out there, and until next time, enjoy and happy wargaming. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.